This is the What's Next podcast, Houston's #1 platform where I invite creatives to share their journeys and give us a depiction of their visions. Most importantly, the last question I'll ask is, what's next? Houston, Texas, we're back. Welcome back to episode number 51 of the What's Next podcast, a production of Still Visionary, Inc. In lieu of Black History Month, last episode I neglected to shout out the person or the African American person that I wanted to highlight for Black History Month. It was Kobe Bryant. We'll talk about being in a second. Rest in peace to the legend. But this episode, I want to dedicate my Black History Month tribute to Joe Budden. Okay. Listen, and when I say that, I'm saying that for this reason. You probably only know Joe from Complex. You probably only know Joe from the podcast, but I know Joe from Mood Music. And the way he continued to reinvent himself. When doors shut, he opened the door with creating something else and never taking no for an answer. I want to take a second to highlight him for Black History Month, even though the perception of what he or who he is very skewed for some people. I want to take a second to highlight him. Outside of the typical Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King and stuff like that, I want to take a second to highlight Joe Budden, because I reference him a lot on this podcast. But welcome back to episode number 51. My name is John Ross Dike I. And, I think this episode is going to be a good one, right? Because I have brought on the podcast before a student that I coach, still in high school. And today we're going to sit and talk to two individuals who have graduated high school. So you're in between that range of after high school, college, that area right there. So that specific generation is the generation that I feel closely attached to. So I want to talk to y'all today and see how y'all are. How you doing? And when I say that, I really want you to dive into it. Give me something more than I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I'm just chilling. How y'all doing?
I'm bueno.
Oh,
just been working.
Jesus Christ.
Working. Decided not to go to school. So trying to figure out what I want to venture into in life.
Okay.
I just been making moves.
Okay.
Been doing things,
Okay.
Starting my career.
Okay. Before we get started with the episode, I want to say to my godmother, Jacqueline Anderson Hill, happy birthday to you, and happy birthday to my sister-in-law, Astria Farmer. Y'all got shout-outs, birthdays y'all want to mention before we get started?
Yeah. My birthday, February 18th.
10th? Tomorrow?
18th, the 18th.
The 18th? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I think
okay.
it's next Tuesday.
Okay. Happy birthday.
Send some love my way.
Episode 52 dropping that day.
Yeah. Send some love my way.
Okay.
Shout out that boy Tyree. He supposed to be here, but he not. It is what it is.
Okay.
Shout out to everybody that I talk to. Shout out to all y'all.
Shout out to the class of 2018 and 19.
Shout out to the class of 2018.
Okay. Waltrip High School.
2019.
Shout out to y'all 2019.
Okay. So I like to categorize this podcast as a learning podcast. So everybody who comes on, I would hope that the viewing audience learns something from them. Before we get started again, let's introduce our social media handles so we don't disrupt the flow of the conversation when we get to that point.
My personal Instagram is the.buc, and for my clothes, the page is called still.misunderstood.
Can we get your government name, please?
The BUC. They call me Buck. My name is Buck.
Everybody know I'm Jordan, but you can call me Jay. You can get at my Instagram at Jay the Jumper, JAEDA, then Jumper.
Okay. Let me show you how it's done. Again, my name is John Ross Dike I, and you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at John Ross Dike _visionary. If you would, connect with me on LinkedIn. That's something that they don't know about just yet, LinkedIn. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like my fan page on Facebook and visit my website at stillvisionary.com. For everybody listening to this podcast, that's stillvisionary.com. In front of you, I have all my T-shirts that I sell, just to, a mock of everything. The What's Next podcast T-shirt in variety of colors. And you can shop stillvisionary.com/apparel.
Go get that. Still Visionary Inc.
Yeah, of course. Of course. So I categorize my podcast as a learning podcast because I would hope that everybody who's watching and listening to the podcast gets something from you. But suppose we do an hour episode and people don't make it to that hour. I started a segment on the podcast called What Should People Take? What do you think people should take from this episode in regards to you two?
Well, for me personally, I just want to be known as a creative who does more than one thing. I don't want to be labeled or categorized as just for being known for doing one thing. Okay. I just want to be known for doing multiple things.
Okay.
I just want to, explain to y'all what I've been doing.
Okay.
And how I'm doing it.
Okay.
And what's going to happen.
Okay. So you graduated in 2018, Buck. You graduated in 2019, Jay. What have you guys been doing since you decided not to go to college?
Dang.
I mean, because the reason why I say that is I'm coming from the perspective as a once upon a time teenager who had no other option but to go to college. So when I educate, I use myself as an example, and I've been known from time to time to say that I decided not to return to college at a point in time, but when I was out working in the field and doing all that other intangible things, it wasn't going anywhere. So I had no choice but to go back to school. When I was coming back to Houston from Orlando in 2006 rather, we had an option to go I-95 North or I-10 West back home. And I elected to come back home because I didn't have no other opportunity. The times then are different from the times now. So when I ask you that question, I'm just curious to know what it's like to be in a teenager's shoes in 2020.
For me, after I graduated, it was like I wasn't being productive. I was just working just to work, have money and stuff. But I feel like during that time I wasn't in school, or I'm still not in school, but during that time it helped me figure out what I wanted to do in life, which direction I wanted to head into, what I want to start figuring out how to do and things like that.
Yeah, I was just still figuring out what I want to do, still figure out what career I want to do, make what moves I want to make.
Mm-hmm. And the benefit of it all is that you have time. Yeah. You have time. When I was going to school, the average person going to school at the time was about 37, 38 years old. So you got an age range of a lot of people that did not go to school early, had kids, had a family, and decided to go back when their kids are in school. And then you got kids that are coming out of school, going into school. You know what I mean? So you have an age range of kids. So as long as school is not off the table,
yeah, it's always an option.
You can always go
back. My thing
back.
Is it's never too soon, never too late.
Okay.
It's college is a lot more accessible than it was before.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more accessible.
That's why I feel like older generations they're pressing college so much, but it's like we have more access to it. I can go to college on my laptop, and I feel like they don't understand that. I feel like that's the difference in generations.
Okay. So what was I gonna say? Damn, I lost my point. Where am I? Give me a second. It'll come to me in a second. I had a brain fart. Damn.
Graduated, not going to college.
No, we had moved on from that. I'm tripping. It was something about continue on. Let me see if I can get it. Continue on. Go back. What were you saying? Graduating from college.
I didn't want to go to school when we were talking about. We got to school. We were talking about college and being able to go.
Okay, I know where I am now.
Different generations.
Okay. So I started off the episode talking about Black History Month and giving that first episode of the month to Kobe Bryant. The reason why I talk about Kobe, right? Because it's been 2 weeks since he passed, right? God bless the dead, him and the other victims of that plane crash, helicopter crash. But my brother was a big Kobe Bryant fan. And I remember when I first was acquainted with you, teaching you in Algebra 2, you were a big Kobe Bryant fan. How did that affect you? Because I remember I texted you on Instagram saying that. How did that affect you as a Kobe fan?
It hurt me because I would say Kobe Bryant was a role model. I don't really idolize people like that. Mm-hmm. Not many people, but I was attracted to his work ethic and that Mamba mentality. So I don't know. It's a sad event that it had to happen the way it happened.
Okay.
It's a bummer. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really.
Yeah, I didn't even want to believe it.
Yeah.
At all.
I still don't. I'm still thinking, that he'll pop out somewhere. Because you look on Instagram now and it's flooded with Kobe.
Yeah.
It's flooded with Kobe. YouTube videos flooded with his videos. Everybody's talking about the Mamba mentality and Kobe would do this and Kobe would do that. So it almost feels like it's not real.
Not at all.
Yeah. Okay, so we're here to specifically talk about y'all partnership, y'all team, what y'all got going in 2020. So I'll preface by saying this: creativity comes from experiences. Well, what I mean by that is, in 2018, when I was getting ready to, when I was kind of in between companies, I had to close one door to open a new one. My sister said, you need to start from the bottom, start from scratch. I was doing a podcast, and when I say creativity comes from experiences, creating that podcast and going through the time period of closing that chapter and starting a new chapter made me create Still Visionary Inc. and the What's Next podcast. Let's start off from the beginning with your team. How do you get started with that? Creativity comes from experiences. Bring me to the first experience that y'all shared to begin to start working together.
Well, it's like we all go to the same school. We play sports together and things like that. But like we do things outside of school, like going to parties and things like that. And I feel like we like are in the culture. Like we know what's going on. We're aware of it. Like we're aware of trends and things like that. So I feel like knowing what we know, like seeing so many things and being around a lot of things and having knowledge of those things helps us to like figure out where we want to take things and what we want to do with where we're going. You know.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And so what would be a trend for an 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old right now in 2020? What would be a trend?
Well, right now you see like, I guess you could say like different dances.
Okay.
It's really trending on TikTok.
Okay.
Just different stuff like that.
TikTok itself is a trend.
Yeah.
That was an app that wasn't, as popular as it was before now.
But that's why I'll say that's like a trend now, like a different dance that people can do.
Okay.
And post on social media and stuff.
Okay. And and you said something about your clothing line earlier.
Yeah.
Where did that start?
Well, just I've always been interested in. I just dressed differently at school. I always had a different style to what I like to wear and things like that. So just my mom fixing my clothes one day led to me interested in figuring out how to sew myself and making my own clothes and finding ways to be unique. So, just one day made something and I liked it and other people liked it and that made me like it more, So it made me be like, this is something I'm good at. Maybe I should try to figure out how I can further this and do it more, make this into something I can do for a long time,
And does this fall in line with the online store that you mentioned back in the day?
Well, the online store I wanted to do, I like making clothes and I want to have my own like clothing line, but I also want to just sell like clothes too, like how like people resell shoes and things like that. I want to just resell clothes also, just that's what I wanted to use the website for, buy like thrifted vintage clothing. I really just like thrifted and vintage clothing and stuff like that, and just resell it to the people on the website.
What about thrift clothes or those trends in clothing attracts you?
I don't know. I've always been attracted to like the different styles of clothes, and I feel like I feel like in stores they're selling trends, like whatever clothes are trending at that moment, that's what they're selling. But the thrift store is all types of clothes. I can decide what I want to wear, So it attracts me more than like store clothes, if that makes sense.
Like one brand or something.
Like retail stores. Yeah, I can find an old 80s jacket or something, or whatever. I prefer that more.
Okay. And so you take them and what do you do with the sewing?
Well, some clothes, I just rework them. I'll take pants, for example.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see the work. Yeah. Okay. And what did you do with this exactly?
Just a pair of pants I thrifted or whatever. And I had more jeans I had thrifted and just put them onto like a collage on pants, basically. It's something I just really like to do.
So is it just to see different denims on there?
Yeah,
or?
it's like the style, just different denims.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
something else. My favorite,
You're wrong right there.
just a blanket. It was a blanket. Was in the thrift store looking for something else. Found a blanket. Was able to rework them into like some sweatpants.
Okay.
And it's like this is something like I would want to look to sell in like my collection and eventually dropping them of custom clothing. And things like that would be like just reworking, just giving life to clothes again, reworking things.
So in sewing them, where do you start? Do you start at the hem? How do you break them apart to put them back together again?
At the hem, yeah.
Okay.
And go all the way up and it just depends on what I'm doing. But most times it just starts with an idea. I have to know where I'm starting at, what I'm doing, what I'm trying to achieve with the piece of clothing, But I don't know. Most of it starts with an idea. Just have to figure out what I'm doing, and I'll just go from there. Because most time it's different. It's always something not the same.
Okay. So that first piece of clothes that you made in high school, what was the idea behind that?
It was like I was talking about trends. Like when ripped jeans was still a trend, but when it was just starting to happen or whatever, I had some ripped jeans and I put my foot through the hole and the hole got too big, and I was like, how am I gonna pass the hole up? So I sewed something to pass the hole up, but I used like some Tommy Hilfiger pajamas, so it looked like the Tommy Hilfiger was under the jeans, but like I did it in multiple areas, so it was passed up, and it just, I don't know, I thought it looked nice.
Okay.
And that sparked like me doing what I'm doing now.
Okay. And so you and Jordan work together. How do y'all plan to further y'all partnership in that?
Well, it's a lot of people. It's just me, Jordan, Tyree, Tony, a lot of people. But we're trying to build something that's gonna last. Like that's not a gimmick or nothing. Like I want to do multiple things, but we don't want to do them at we want to do them with high quality. Do it like to a high level. Like make events, for the city, like practically parties. They're going to be basically parties, but they're like giving back toward the city. Like we'll have other artists from the city be there,
rappers come
and things like that. Just I don't know. I want to make Houston like a mecca of the country. Like I feel like
I'm trying to
how
put
like
on the map.
How cultures change, like how rap changes, like from Nas and Biggie and them to like the rappers we have now. I feel like in clothes and things change. I feel like the culture's finna change, like because it's the 20s, and I want to be a part of that change. I want to like influence that change, set the trends, and that's what I like. That's what I feel like we really like. That's what we're looking forward to do. Like,
just be creating our own thing.
We want to be creators of it.
Exactly.
Okay. So my thing is, in terms of like bringing culture to the city, how much of going to another city and seeing how they vibe, what they wear, what they're doing in their city, and bringing some of that back to mesh Houston with, let's say, a New York, or Houston with a Chicago, Houston with an Atlanta, Houston with an LA. Yeah. How much of that, or have y'all factored that into the aspect of what you're doing?
Well, yeah, because everybody's influenced by something. Like you can say you're not, but one way you're influenced by something or another. So I feel like being aware of what's going on in different places, it helps what we're trying to do. So we're aware of what we're doing. It's not like the same as something else that's going on somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just trying to relate to different people.
Okay.
Okay.
And Jordan, I saw your video. You sent me a video on Instagram. Explain what y'all were doing in that.
Well, we just be dancing.
Okay.
Really just, just be dancing. So like that.
Them boys can dance. They be having a good time. They be dancing.
Do y'all do like the 90s party lines when y'all go to those parties in high school? Like y'all like split the floor up and then start dancing.
I ain't gonna lie, they get in there and it
like
makes
house party.
It makes me. That's exactly what happens. I've seen them do it, and it makes me mad because I can't dance. I have rhythm, but I can't dance. So it's like I'm that person just watching, and they will really have it. Everybody move out the way.
Okay. And then
they get to dance and sweating and losing their mind.
Tyree be sweating hard too.
That boy
He
be
sweating
dripping. They be,
Tyree be dancing for
he
real.
be like,
He be dancing with Tyree be loving it. I'm sure he be dancing.
So give me your top 3 influences in fashion.
Okay, so I'll say Virgil Abloh and his protege. His name is Murder Bravo. He works with him, and he does similar things that I do. He does reconstructed clothing and embroidery and things like that, and just different styles of clothes. And then Ian Connor.
Okay.
He has his own few brands or whatever.
Ian Connor works with who?
ASAP Rocky and like Cardi and them, people like that.
And then your last one.
That was 3. The first one was, and the other one, I said Virgil, Murder Bravo, and Ian Connor.
Okay.
Those are 3 different people.
And so, how would you describe the ASAP Mob's style?
Right.
That's a good question. I'll be like,
Because they've referenced Rocky as like a
he's
a rock star.
Yeah.
He's a fashion. He's like, he is.
He is fashion.
What he wears, it will become a trend.
Okay.
That's like, I don't ever want to try to be like somebody else, but what they do influences like my ideas. I would want to get to that level where I'm influencing on that high of a level. He has control. Like things he wear become a trend for sure.
Okay. So you're going to a party, right? And I still assume that y'all still go to high school parties.
Well,
Huh?
I don't go to high school. I don't go to high school party.
I mean,
I go to parties, but they don't be high school
well,
parties.
I
get what you're saying.
You're 2 years removed, so you should be like 19,
20.
going on 29. When you turn 21?
I'll turn 20 February 18th.
Oh, you turned 20. Okay, so you're not 20 yet. You're 19. You're
Same
still a
thing.
teenager. You got
Same
to.
thing for 9 more days.
Okay, so you're going to a party. What does it look like to get ready for that party? Outside of the intangibles. The intangibles were getting, sneaking a little drink here, sneaking a little tote here. I'm talking about I'm talking about the fashion aspect of it. What are you putting on that is gonna stand out and make people look at like, what is Buck wearing?
I don't know how to explain it, but whatever I'm gonna put on, I'm gonna swag it to where I'm a style. Like me and you could literally walk in the party with the same thing on, but I feel like the way I'm gonna rock it, I'm gonna be more noticeable than what you have on. It don't even matter. Like, I don't know. I just feel like whatever I'm wearing, it has to be like, I don't know. I don't like to look basic. I don't know. That sounds basic saying that, but I want to look like an individual, not a sheep, like the masses,
And a sheep would be what? Ripped holes in their jeans.
Yeah, ripped jeans, some Jordans, and like a Nike jacket or something.
Okay. The stuff that people know that you
exactly,
paid money.
Yeah. Like, you good, you're safe with that on.
Yeah. Jay, what you gonna wear?
I'll probably just wear what I'm feeling.
Okay.
Whatever I'm feeling, I'm gonna wear it.
Okay.
But it gotta be something loose so I can dance to.
Okay. So you go to parties with expecting a sweat?
Not really.
Okay.
Nah, he don't sweat. Tyree. Tyree be in there sweating. I'm gonna let you know that right now.
That's just really the same thing with me though. Like I can put on anything and I'll make it look good. Okay. That's what I think.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. What song's on your mind?
You got me. Dang, you hit me at the wrong time.
I hope you listen to. Let me see.
I like. I'm messing with "Tattoo" by Playboy Cardi right now.
Listen to this new artist, Baby King, his song is called Mosh Pit.
Okay. You put me on Playboy Cardi.
Yeah.
When we used to work out in the weight room.
Playboy Cardi.
Is he still making music?
Is he still making music? Yeah.
2 Chainz said that every Atlanta rapper has their season. Every summer they put out a new Atlanta rapper, and he was like,
That's true.
"You graduated 2 years ago." He was like maybe 2.5 years ago. Now they moved on to Baby. They moved on to who else? Who else? The Migos have taken over. Gunna.
Yeah, Gunna.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Nas. You know my style.
We know you like that Nas.
Of course, greatest rapper alive. And I'm gonna go with a Houston R&B artist. His name is Tariq Adid, and his song is "Break the Silence." Okay, so let's talk about your partnership. Okay, let's get in depth to your partnership, because I believe now that you're only as good as your team. What incentivized y'all to? You said team. You play sports in high school. Y'all partied together. What do you feel that you are going to add to each other's brand?
Well, like with him making clothes and stuff like that, I can wear his clothes in my videos with the dance videos. Get them out there. So it's just like when they see me wearing the clothes, they trying to figure out who made this and who did this. I can just let them know that that's my boy. He did this. Try to put him on in that way.
Okay.
I feel like since we're all interested in different things, we attract different crowds in a sense. So we can all benefit from having access to each other's crowds, you know. Because I don't dance, but people who dance, like he said, will look at what I'm doing if he's wearing something or whatever, and I can. Most people that follow me probably don't be dancing. They probably like are more interested in clothes and things like that or whatever. And I can introduce them to them dancing and you know things like that. And all just more than just dancing and clothes, but it all just benefits into each other. We all have a mutual, you know, interest in helping each other grow and become more
Successful.
Yeah.
Okay. The name of your pardon me. The name of your clothing line is Still Misunderstood.
Yes.
When I saw that on your IG page, which by the way I need to follow both of y'all when I get a second. When I saw that on your IG page, I think about the word still, and which means remaining. Okay. Now, talk about the name and the structure of putting that together. Where did that come from?
Well, I always knew I wanted. At first, I didn't necessarily want to actually have a brand like apparel and things like that. I just wanted to make my clothing like sewing and things like that, one of ones. But I still like making one of one clothing. I would need a name for what it's gonna be under. And then so eventually, I found like I feel like a lot of people make brands now, you know, start their own brands. But I don't know. I still feel like I wanted to do that, and I needed a name. And Still Misunderstood just made sense for me personally because it's like still misunderstood. Like everybody can relate to being still misunderstood in one way or another. Like no one's fully understood to, you know, just the max, you know. In some aspect, everybody's misunderstood. So I just feel like Still Misunderstood is a good, you know, name for
It's
what.
an ambiguous name.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So it makes sense for what I'm doing, and I feel like the clothing, like actually what it looks like, will like represents the name Still Misunderstood in the same way, you know, like seeing the clothing and the name will make sense.
Okay. So who do you know that's putting together right now a fashion show for you to model your clothes in?
Who do I know?
Yeah.
No one.
Is there nobody doing that?
Oh well, yeah. I've reached out to like people who do that, but at the moment I'm trying to get the collection created right now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then eventually, that's what the goal is to. Once I have a collection, have a fashion show for the collection and things like that.
How long would you say that it takes you to put together?
Depends on the piece, but most times it takes a solid day. Or if I'm just in the zone, you know, I'm just knocking them out. I probably do like 2 or 3 if I'm really just focused on making something. But I feel like for a collection, I would want to make a good like 20, probably like 20, 30, 40, 50 pieces. So take me a few months to do that, and then get it set up on a website how I want it right and everything like that, in order to sell it and all that.
Okay. So what else is going on?
Oh, well, we're making videos, making movies and things. I feel like
we got this little DVD coming out.
got a movie. It's gonna be very interesting. It's kind of like I feel like it's our documentary vlog, like in the life type thing of us. I feel like
Just what we doing.
Yeah, and it's like behind the scene of what we're doing while we're doing it, you know, like it's like making clothes, taking pictures and stuff or whatever, making music or making dance videos, and you get to see behind that. I like that. I feel like we're making videos and hopefully make some music. The boy Jordan trying to start a dance. So,
Yeah, I got something coming. I've been working on something.
So what references did you use to put it together?
Just like really, I started looking at like old dances like back in the 90s and stuff. And I was just like, man, I'm gonna try to mix that in with like the new, you know, the new wave 2020 with the new dances and stuff. So I've just been looking at that, trying to be creative like that.
Okay. When you were in high school and you were wearing the clothes that weren't typical, how was the reception for you? And how's the reception now that people know that you're doing what you're doing?
Well, originally, I remember like my freshman year, I wear those flip up sunglasses. I walk around in the hallway with the flip up sunglasses on, and I look at the juniors and the senior faces, and they'll be like, I could tell they were clowning me or whatever. But it's like,
What he got on?
but it's like certain people. It is what it is. It's like if you get a haircut or something, everybody not gonna like your haircut, you know. I feel like even though you have to respect it at some point, it's like at least he bold enough to do it. He don't care, you know. And that's what my thing is. You know, I don't care. It's like I'm gonna do it regardless because I like it, I appreciate it, you know. But originally it was like, what is bro wearing, you know? But now it's like once you see it now, it's like, oh, bro, been kind of dressing differently or whatever you want to call it, weird or whatever. So it makes sense now, you know.
Okay, and the reception now is almost like,
yeah, it's interesting. Like they want to find out more. Like, what is he actually doing? This is, I don't know. It's just like I didn't think he'll be doing this, you know.
Okay. So I come from the standpoint that you need a little help
For sure.
to get to your ultimate goal. How does you separate passing your stuff along to your friends look like? Are they all supportive of it, or do they need some kind of incentive? Like, here, I'm gonna give you this, or I'm gonna put your name here. How does it look like if you're going to get ready to promote your clothes? Are you giving it out to people? Are you sending it out in a text message? What does that text look like?
Well, like I'll make a post on social media and I'll send that post to other people, and I really don't do that myself personally because I feel like if you want to support and you've seen the post, you're going to support. But it's like I feel like my clothes are going to speak for itself eventually. Like the product is going to speak for itself. So even if my friends don't support, I won't even necessarily have to ask because eventually I know it's going to speak for itself. So I personally don't really like ask people like, hey, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? Like, no.
Why?
Because it's like, I don't know if Jordan told me right now he was, take some pictures or made a song. Even if I don't like the song, I'll still tell people about the song. It's
just be real with him.
I'm cool with him. So it's like, I would want to see his success. So it's like, I feel like if someone really rocking with you, you don't really have to tell them, hey, can you go support me on this? They should already
already be supporting.
The support should already want to be there, you know?
And so if they're not rocking with you, how does that look? Or if they're not supporting it, then does that mean that they're not rocking with you?
There's no love lost. You don't have exactly. You're not gonna.
I'm gonna have questions, but it's just gonna be like, I understand,
because it's not your responsibility to support me.
Yeah.
But it just shows where you stand at, you know.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how hard do you rate? How would you rate starting a venture like this from the bottom up?
A 10, because it's a 10. Cause what we want to do is more than just clothes and dance videos, more than just video, like making like little videos and making music. It's like I want to build something like it. So, and with building that, I know it's going to be like setbacks and delays and doubts and hard times and things like that. So I would say it's definitely a 10 because this is like it's not going to be easy, and I'm aware of that. I feel like a lot of people just want it to happen. They're not aware like it's going to take some time. Like you got to stick with it.
Just got to be patient.
So I'll say it's like a 10 for a fact.
Okay. Today is February the 9th, 2020.
Yes.
And we have, let me make sure that this is
my birthday
correct.
in 9 days. In 9 days.
How many times you going to say that, dog?
I was just letting it know.
Gotta
9 days.
Gotta let them know.
9 days.
Don't worry, I got a gift for you. We have 326 days left in the 2020 year. I started that countdown a couple of years ago as to letting me know what I needed to attain in the amount of days left in that particular year. What do you hope to attain in 326 days?
Making a name, just making people aware of what we're doing, not necessarily striving in it or just looking for success, just making people aware that they're doing something, just making a name. That's what my whole thing. I would like to just be acknowledged as like, okay, this is somebody, they're doing this. You're aware of them. Even if you're not supporting it or you're not buying into it yet, you're still aware of it. That's what I want people to be aware of what we're doing.
Okay.
Get myself more out there.
Okay.
Let people know that I am, that I'm still doing stuff.
Okay. So this is a question for you, Jay. The viral videos, the minute to 2 minute videos are now relevant, right? So when you look at the likes of Shiggy, the Shiggy Show, Rennie, all these guys making funny videos, and they go on their profiles and they say that they're comedians or actors and stuff like that. How do you make that go from just a viral video to maybe a choreographed dance that somebody in your group who's maybe a musician can use?
Like, that's really a good question. You got me really thinking.
Because the reason why I say that is sometimes, you know, that you mentioned a lot about trends, right? And trends are here one day and then the next day they're gone, right? So how do you make sure that, like, the 90s dance that you referenced, those are locked in stone?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So no matter what you do, no matter what age range you're in, if they play music from that time period, you know to do that dance.
Yeah.
How do you make sure that, what do you do to make your dance a dance that lasts forever?
I'm just gonna try to make it like a dance where you can just dance to anything, any song, at any event. You know what I mean? And where it's simple, where everybody can do it also.
Okay. Who are your top 3 what are your top 3 dances? Can you name them by decade?
Top 3 dances?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say Yeet first. The Yeet.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
Probably don't. But the Yeet, I can say
The Woe.
I really the Woe
Don't
cool.
be wooing. Don't be wooing.
I don't be wooing. No, I don't like the Woe. I mean, I like the Woe, but it's cool.
Don't be wooing.
You know that's a kid from Houston that made that dance,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Boy, A-Leaf.
I was surprised.
I don't
Really, I was just like, what?
Yeah, we got talent in the
We
city.
We do. Go ahead. Who else?
The Yeet. I don't even know what's more dances. I don't even know.
You say the mop, you be hitting the mop.
Yeah, I do like the mop. I like the mop.
Who made the mop?
Huncho, the Rockstar, and K-Blast and Matisse and them.
Okay.
But those other people really made it.
Okay.
Houston too.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, they from Houston too.
Like, out there,
Well, with
they
Huncho and
say
them, they really
A-Leaf
from
too.
Dallas and them.
Okay.
With the mop. And I'm just have to say that I like the
Running Man and
I don't really know. I just like the I'm just say the Yeet and the mop.
sometimes you don't know the names of them. They just, you just
Yeah.
you just feel it when you hear the song or you hear a song that it would go with. So what else is new, man? I ain't talked to y'all in a couple of years. Well, I'm just grinding, man. I'm finding one thing that I can say was when I started in production, pardon me, I wanted to make movies, dramas. I had that web series.
Grussel Diaries. Grussel Diaries.
I had that web series back in the day, and I found that I had my hand in a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, the T-shirts are just a natural transition from my old company to this one. It's just, I'm always in my stuff, so they just came naturally. But I want to see the podcast be successful because I feel like when you have that one lane of success, then everything else is just like, okay, well, that I knew that was next for him, or I knew this was next for her, or whatever. So I just want to see the podcast successful, but grinding, man. I got the head coaching job for softball at school.
I came to the school. I was like, "We're done."
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, man.
I was like, he
boy
on the
coming up a
field.
little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Making moves.
Making moves, and coaching JV this year. Always staying with a winning program.
Man,
I can't lose.
He be on the sideline hot.
I can't lose. I'll be Coach K on that sideline. You know what I'm saying? Phil Jackson.
It was a
to the
JV
JV
game.
team.
He'd be so hot.
But that's always with me, man. Getting ready to see another. The class of 2019, they were my babies. That was the first class that I was. Your class, I was tutoring them shacks at the back, and 2019 was the first contract year. 2020 is the second contract year, and I coached those 2 levels on freshmen, and that's it, man. I mean, I'm just other than that, I've just been grinding. Married, had a kid. He passed away. Rest in peace to the great.
Sorry to hear that.
I appreciate
For
it.
your loss.
But I'm just grinding, man. Trying to find enjoying podcasting. Getting really good at it.
I ain't gonna lie, I like watching your little podcast too.
And he said my little podcast.
I was like, 'cause You know, when I first seen it, I was like, okay, he had the Grosso Diaries. Now he doing the podcast. But consistency, I was like, okay, he's with it every week,
yeah, and that's key.
I respect that. I ain't gonna lie.
That's key. That's key. You need to be dropping a new piece yourself. You need to be dropping a new piece every so often. When I say every so often, I mean every other week.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the point where you got 2 or 3 machines clicking, you just dropping them every week. Like this, check this out, boom, check this out, and you're wearing it, and you're out and about. I mean, you know that you've made it, or not necessarily made it, that you're bubbling, or that the stove is on when people are like, hey man, it's Tuesday, when is it dropping? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you expect it.
And that speaks to your being acknowledged. You know what I mean? So that's all I've been doing, just grinding. That's it.
It's good to hear. Good to hear.
You know what I mean?
I've been Gucci, Prada.
Good to see him come up for real.
I remember that boy Dike used to be Ram Nation in the hall.
Ram Nation. Ram Nation.
Ram Nation. Good morning, Ram Nation.
So most importantly, the last question I'll ask is, what's next?
Really, what's next is just still making moves and, starting to do the things that we've been saying we're going to do, really.
Okay.
Starting to do those things.
I would say just making things happen, actually seeing progress, seeing that we're moving forward and what we're trying to do, actually doing those things and, just doing them the way we want to do them. I don't know. I just want to really make sure things are coming across the way we want them to come across,
Okay. Hey, do you have any of those videos, that your dance videos? You have any of them, like on Instagram and stuff like that? You send me a couple. I'll put it in this episode.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Last thing I'll do, man, is I want to give y'all this, man. This is an exclusive T-shirt that I make specifically for the creatives that come on the podcast. Okay. This is the black SVI T-shirt that I was given last year, right, to everybody. And with the new year, new me, new things. I want to give this black SVI T-shirt and this black What's Next podcast T-shirt exclusively for the creatives that come on the podcast.
I've really been waiting on one of these for a long time. Very long time.
When you wear this one, man, make sure that you send me a picture, because I got something in store to post later on this year about this T-shirt right here.
I got you.
Y'all got anything else, man?
Nah, this was fun. I'm glad we got to do this.
Shout out to everybody who be supporting us too.
Yeah,
no doubt.
The love is real. I appreciate the love.
No doubt.
Positive vibes.
Houston, Texas, I do what I do for myself to prove I can do it for others. Peace and blessings.
Yo, it feel like 95, Sachi on my body, Biggie, Jigger, Puffy, all that ballin' is a hobby, and I'm wildin' in my wallies, and them valleys, no Pilates, more way get you more wet, nah that's these Spumante, my crystal ball, I see crystal, I crystal y'all with that, I saw the sign like Ace of Spades, that Ace of Spades get cracked me like, cheers to the money guys, the Willie niggas, who buy them bottles, and then they spill these liquors, yo, salute my dude. I see you, dawg. 5 bottles, 1 dick. Why I need 2 bras? I know I'm out of line, but love is shower time. You know it rose rain when your cloud is 9. Get off that high ass hussy. This a private party. Been on my dick too long. Your breath on private party. You gon' be nice and naughty. These walls on priceless Audi. This the upper crust. Fuck is up. Over and done. Overdose. Guess we did it again. Sipping with no remorse. We gon' do it again.